to how it's so boring watching Jinder Mahal take on Randy Orton over and over and over and over again. And I'm tired of seeing John Cena when he was the United States champion doing the open challenge, fighting everybody over and over and over and over again. I don't want to see the Universal Championship defended on Raw because it's boring. And then when it's not, you complain that it's not on TV enough, that Brock Lesnar is not on TV enough. All right, granted, I think WWE dropped the ball with that. I think he should be doing, even if it's pre-recorded, which most of those promos are when they show them on the screen. But back in the day, they used to do those backstage interviews with Hogan, hey, brother, blah, 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 with me and Gene Okerlund. And that held people over. That was fine. That was, now with the network where you can watch literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week wrestling until you vomit, and then watch Raw and then SmackDown 4 times a month each, and then watch pay-per-view, sometimes 2 a month. Now it's way too much. So take it or leave it. Me personally, I like it the way it is. I personally think the WWE title is defended too much and is on TV too much. I think Jinder Mahal, if you want to make Jinder Mahal have meaning, then get him off TV. Have him do a promo. Have him in the back cutting a promo. Have him do a video promo on the big screen, talking crap to Randy Orton or anybody else. Keep him out of the ring. That's what made Paul Heyman so great, is Paul Heyman was the spokesperson. He was the mouthpiece for guys like CM Punk and now Brock Lesnar. Well, actually, Brock Lesnar first, then CM Punk, now Lesnar again. Because he was the one that got the fans going, man, I can't wait to see, Brock Lesnar back on TV with the belt. The fans chanting, we want Lesnar, we want Lesnar. They're not going to be chanting, we want Lesnar if he's on TV every single day. Sorry, just not going to happen. It's just common sense. So that's my prediction, is that Samoa Joe loses. He's a placeholder. And at SummerSlam, Braun Strowman will take on Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, takes place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. So you might want to try to get those last remaining tickets now. They also have NXT TakeOver the night before. So other matches on that card, I can care less. I really don't care. I don't care about the tag team titles. Having 2 separate tag team champions to me is ridiculous. Right now, if it was me, I'd have the WWE Championship. I'd have the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, a tag team champion, and a women's champion. That's it. 6 titles. That's it. If your brand doesn't have a championship, then have more pay-per-views that have both brands facing off against each other, where the other company can steal the title from the other company. So Raw, if The Miz is on TV, now you can send somebody in on SmackDown to face them in that pay-per-view and steal the Intercontinental Championship and take it back to SmackDown. That's how you do it. Stop having these Raw-only pay-per-views and SmackDown-only pay-per-views constantly, and then doing 2, maybe 3 mixed, like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. And if you're going to do 2 pay-per-views a month, then do 1 SmackDown, 1 Raw. Don't do a SmackDown and then a joint, and then a Raw, and then a SmackDown, and then a Raw, and then a joint. This is why people are tired of watching the same crap. Is because you're just putting it out there too much. So that's how I would handle it. Not add more championships. Anybody who wants more championships is just killing the business. You're just making the business boring. You're just making shiny hood ornaments. That's all it is. Yes, it's a prop. We all know wrestling's fake. We all know. If you don't, sorry. There's no Easter Bunny or Santa Claus either. Okay? But bottom line, if you want the belt to have meaning to the fans, meaning to the boys and the girls in the locker room, to the universe, stop adding belts. Start eliminating belts. You got rid of the world title when you had the two belts around. What was it? I think it was John Cena had them, and then Brock Lesnar had them, whatever. And then you guys made the Universal Championship should have never been made. That was the dumbest idea that anybody can make. And then you make all the championships look the same. You just change the background color. The world title's black. Everything on SmackDown's red. On blue. Everything on Raw is red. The United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship don't look like you don't know where they're from. Okay? Keep the Intercontinental Championship design. It's classic. It's the best belt they ever had as far as the Intercontinental Championships. Okay? WWE title looks like everybody else's belt. What makes the WWE title more special than the Universal Championship? It doesn't, because they look exactly the same. So there's no point. So you want to have prestige. You want to have meaning to these championship belts. Then you got to have them look different from each other. So if you're just going to slap the same color on every single belt, you might as well just have one belt and then have different people walk down, because nobody's going to notice anyway. They're all blue. Obviously the women's title is a little smaller. So it's garbage. So just get rid of the garbage, take out the garbage, move on, and when pay-per-views pop up, start having more joint pay-per-views. Raw and SmackDown against each other, so they can have a chance to steal the title back for their company. Stop doing these individual shows. You could do it. You could do a couple. You have 12 months in a year. Do you need 24 pay-per-views? No. Does anybody? Obviously, the network is great, but it's not selling the way you want it. When every month you're giving away a month free and a pay-per-view, sometimes two. What's the point of doing that? So you keep it for a couple months. If they don't like it, they can cancel it. It's garbage. So, all right. So moving on from mainstream wrestling. That's why we don't like to talk about mainstream wrestling on the Indie Super Show. Let's play the interview that we had. It's a 7-minute, 30-second interview from March 7th, 2015, with Lanny Poffo at Big Event, courtesy of MZ Promotions. It was a cool interview. Lanny Poffo is a very, very interesting fellow. So here we are, the genius, Lanny Poffo.
We're live at the Big Event, and I am here with Leaping Lanny Poffo, also known as the Genius. Lanny, welcome to the Big Event.
The Big Event, yes. You can call me the Genius, full of glory and renown.
Love it. I love it. A couple questions I want to ask you. One was, I understand that your dad Angelo was very heavily involved in the wrestling business. Did you join, in the business because of him, or was it more that something that you really wanted to do yourself?
Well, I got into the business in 1973. My parents were very upset that I didn't want to go to college. I said, listen, I didn't even want to graduate high school, but I did it because of them. My dad said, well, you just don't look like a wrestler, you look like a teenage boy. And I said, well, I feel that I have what it takes. So next thing you know, I'm in the business, and that was 1973. And then in 1985, I make my debut 30 years ago in Madison Square Garden.
You had the gimmick of writing some poems on Frisbees. I remember those, throwing them into the crowd, and that's all your material?
Yes, but I stole the gimmick from a guy named Al Costello. Do you know him?
I don't.
He was in the Fabulous Kangaroos. Roy Hefferman, Al Costello, and Wild Red Berry. He used to... Who is this? Anyway, he used to throw boomerangs into the crowd, cardboard boomerangs. So I said, what could I throw that would soar? And I said, Frisbees, and I put a poem on each one. And then finally they started marketing them. And they used to sell out every night because I used to go sign them. And because at the time the richest man in the world was Sam Walton. Walmart. And he said, what's the key to your success? From Bentonville, Arkansas, all the way to #1. He said, sell for less and be nice to people. So I was on TNT and I did a poem, and Vince said, that's great. From now on, you do a poem before every match.
It worked. It was something that it kind of stuck with you. People knew you for that, and then you kind of got into the gimmick of the Genius, coming down with your mortarboard and gown, and you had the nice metal scrolls. And but my one memory of you is you did the coronation for your brother when he became the king of WWE. And I want to say thank you, because I was like, that's a moment that'll last in my lifetime forever. The words that you said, the two of you in the ring together, which leads me to my next question is, how come the two of you never were in the ring together?
Well, I'll get back to that in a minute, but you got me all excited, and I want to go back in time, and I want to say,
please do.
Behold, this humble entourage. Their heads are bowed in reverence at the very slightest whisper of one name, exalting in his pleasure, I'm 60 years old now, exalting in his splendor, which is altogether fitting of the people and the lands from whence he came. False monarchies are commonplace as kingdoms rise and fall, but I, the genius full of glory and renown, say the Macho Man is everything that everybody everywhere would ever want to wear a crown. I say this king deserves a queen beside him on the throne. Sherry is the fairest in the land. Nobody else is worthy of this monumental honor and the regal splendor of his royal hand. We witness the dethroning of one Jim the Hacksaw Duggan, whose crown and robe are in a state of ravage. Ho! I now remove my mortarboard and place it near my heart, and thus proclaim you Macho King, Randy Savage.
Tape still gives me the chills.
Yeah, it's my favorite poem of all time.
Now, did you ever think of maybe marketing that? Putting it on a print with you and your brother, or maybe the scene from the ring, and marketing that?
I've got 2 books out, and that poem is in one of the books.
Okay. So, how come you and Randy never squared off in the ring, tagged up, nothing?
Well, these decisions are not made by myself or my brother, but we all had a niche to fill, and I did my best with what I had.
No, you did. You played, as I like to call it, the ultimate heel. You didn't need a belt. You did your job. People hated you, And I kind of feel like they took the Damien Sandow character when he first came in with the robe and everything. I feel that they kind of got that character from your Genius character.
Well, I thought it was a fantastic form of flattery, and Randy wasn't upset either about black machismo.
Yes.
So, it's a form of flattery. In fact, he gave him his blessings.
2 more questions. One I'd like to ask you is, do you feel that a tremendous amount of pressure may be lifted off your shoulders now that you gave the okay for Randy to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
You have no idea how relieved I am, but the hardest part is convincing my mother. She's 88 years old, she's Jewish, very, very stubborn. Her feelings were hurt, no condolences. And, Randy, she knew that, just like I did, that Randy's wishes were the Poffo family or nothing. But when I just turned 60 years of age, but that's supposed to be a big deal. But that wasn't for me. 59 was the biggest deal for me, because that was the day I became the older brother. And I thought about all the times I didn't get my way. Marcia. So I said, well, I can get my way now. And the fans had suffered long enough. And in the words of the late Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Live long and prosper.
Absolutely. And why Hogan?
You know what? Just like Rodney King, can't we all get along? I'm only going to live, let's say I live to be 100. That's only 40 more years. I'm not going to spend one day of it pissed off over nothing.
Understand? Social media, how can fans reach out to Lanny Poffo?
Well, you can like me on Facebook, and that's Lanny the Genius Poffo. And my website is geniuslannypoffo.com. And check it out.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Is this a big podcast or a small one?
Well, I can't say small because then I, make.
How big is it?
We reach out to a little over about 1,500 fans a week.
Wow. I'll tell you what, if the Macho Man were here, he'd say there are no small podcasts, just small wrestlers.
Lanny, thank you very much.
All right, God bless, buddy.
Bye-bye.
following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.